Everyone, this is Rod. Hope you're doing well out there. So, today I want to talk to you about these 12 Republican senators who plan to oppose the certification of Joe Biden, his win for Electoral College certification on January 6th. And then my question to all of us is why would somebody take that stand? Because all along we looked at this voter fraud situation. We have milked this thing to death. And talking about the voter fraud, people have been tested, retested about the voter fraud is proving that all these accusations of voter fraud have been false. Now, because of the great country that we live in, if someone believes there's some sort of fraud or they want to go against it, they can. They can. But at this point, it becomes ridiculous because all along we knew it was going to be propaganda. Before the votes even occurred in this presidential election, Mr. Trump was talking about voter fraud. And in a sense, he was protecting himself, in my opinion, so that if he did lose and he did lose, and he probably felt he was going to lose, he can always fall back on this voter fraud claim, which he did. But the problem when he fell back on the voter fraud, people believed him, and we're going through all this stuff. But either way, it's pretty much a done deal. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be in on January 20th, so we're almost there. But even so, on January 6th, we're going to have senators and Republicans, and what they're going to do is they're going to certify Joe Biden's win by certifying an Electoral College on January 6th. So they do that every presidential race. This is done, and it's done flawlessly. But on this particular occasion, you have 12 Republican senators who have claimed or rumored to oppose the certification of Joe Biden. And so my question is, after all that we've been through, all the proof that we have that there's no electoral fraud on a wide scale, why are these 12 senators planning to oppose this process? So I think it's about smoke and mirrors. You know, I think that these senators want to give the appearance of voter fraud. And then, so the question is, why would they want to give the appearance of voter fraud? So I think they're doing it for votes. They believe it's going to get them votes. They believe that they're going to show that they support Mr. Trump. And because they're supporting Mr. Trump, they know Mr. Trump is out of office. He's done. But they feel that by supporting Mr. Trump, that they're going to get his leftover votes. They won't be able to vote for Trump anymore because he's gone, but his followers will follow the people that supported Trump. I believe they believe that. But unfortunately, that's not going to work because there's only one Trump. Whether you like him or not, and I don't, there's only one Trump. And he's a polarizing figure. And he got those followers because of who he is, every aspect of who he is. He's always Trump. People like these 12 senators who are trying to get his votes and pretending that they support Trump, they are just his followers. They're not Trump. And because they're not Trump, they're not going to have the pull and draw that he does. And not only that, I don't know any other way to say this except that Trump owns those people. He's. I'm going to be polite when I say this, but basically, these 12 senators are Trump's slave. He owns them. They work for him. People aren't going to follow somebody that works for the person that they like. Trump is the one. And these 12 senators are under Trump and they do whatever he tells them to do. He tells them to claim voter fraud, they're going to do it. He tells them go against the certification, they're going to do it. They're going to do whatever Trump tells. In other words, they're his boy. That's the most polite way I can say it. They're Trump's boy. And people are not going to follow somebody's boy. So it's a flawed plan. And what's sad about this is that the Constitution, this is part of the Constitution that we have that's coming out on January 6th, which is the certification of the next president. This is part of our Constitution. Our Constitution says that every man and woman has the right to vote, and their vote has the right to be counted. The Constitution includes electoral colleges. Each state has whatever amount of electoral colleges per that state, and that number has the right to be counted. This is our Constitution. What's sad about these 12 Republican senators is that they're willing to go against this American Constitution. They're willing to go against Americans just because Trump told them to. In other words, he's their boy. And he told them what to do. And they're doing it. They're doing it. Whether it's out of fear or whether it's out of greed, they're doing it. And the problem is they think they're using Trump by doing this because they think they're going to get his followers. But Trump is using them. They're not going to get his followers. You can almost respect Trump. I don't like Trump, but you can almost respect Trump because Trump walks his own walk. He has his own path. He does his own thing. But you can't respect a senator who's following a Trump and they are Trump's boy. You can't respect that. And voters aren't going to respect that. They're smarter than that. They're not interesting. It's boring. These people don't have spines. They're not going to respect that. Yeah, on this day, they'll disrupt the situation a little bit, but they're not going to do anything to it. They're just hurting themselves. And the sad thing, and what I call it, is that these senators are creating white-collar treason. They're doing what they're told to do and going against the Constitution of this country that's been there for centuries. They're going against the Constitution of this country because they're somebody's boy and they don't have a spine. They can't do what's right for our country, right for you, the voter. It's disgusting. So no, they're not going to get Trump's followers. They don't follow people like that. And so the example I have here too, you look at, there's three people that come to mind to me. You look at Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, I don't like Mitch McConnell either. But you look at him, he walks his own walk. He walks his own talk. He's already acknowledged Biden as the president-elect. He did the right thing because he's nobody's boy. He's not Trump's boy. You look at Mike Pence. I don't like Mike Pence either. Mike Pence is nobody's boy either. He's not Trump's boy. The other day, and I don't remember what the situation was, where they wanted Mike Pence to do something for Trump with this voter fraud, and Mike Pence said, no, I'm not doing this. Some sort of lawsuit. Mike Pence stepped down. He says, I'm not doing that. He's nobody's boy, and I don't like him, but he's nobody's boy. You look at one other person, it was Attorney General Bill Barr. Bill Barr did a lot of things for Trump, a lot of favors for Trump. But when it came to this voter stuff, going against the Constitution of this country, Bill Barr, guess what he did? He said, no, I'm not doing this. There's no mass voter fraud that I could see. I'm out. I'm not doing it. Like he said, no. People say that these people, Republicans are going to affect the Republican Party because of what they're doing. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it will affect the Republican Party because these people are individuals. They can be voted out. I think what will happen is the Republican parties will probably adjust to this and become better maybe. But these individuals, these 12 individuals, I think they're going to stand out in history. And they're just hurting themselves for short term gain, which is votes, which they're not going to get. Short term gain, and they're standing out in history as Trump's boy. Trump's boy, whipping boy, even, but Trump's boy. They're going to stand out in history as cowards, people that don't have spines, people that chose to go against the Constitution because they were told to do so. I think they're going to go out in history as they sold out. They're the ones that are going to be hurt. I don't know if the Republican Party is going to be hurt. So anyway, nothing's going to happen with these folks. They may delay it a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but they're just hurting themselves, and people will be laughing at them. This is a reality show that people get to watch and just laugh at. They're just using them. They may be in the street and people will pat them on the back and say, "Hey, you're doing a great job," and kind of encourage them. But they're just encouraging them to be clowns on TV. That's all they're doing. They're encouraging them to be clowns so they can stand back and watch them fall. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. Peace and hope, everyone.